Here we go. Whirlpool Masters.
All with claims to this coveted trophy. One, a former champion from Poland. Another, a rising European star. The third, one of the finest players England has produced. And the fourth, an outstanding U.S. Open champion. Karol Skowerski, Nikos Ekonomopoulus, Chris Melling, and Shane Van Boening will all contest the semifinals of the Party Poker World Pool Masters. There was a big opening statement from Karol Skowerski. He looked measured and assured in his match with Daniel Corriere, racing into a 5-1 lead. The Italian rallied briefly before the man from Poland closed out the match to win 8-3. In our next match, Nikos Ekonomopoulos continued his impressive Masters campaign with a win over the 2008 champion Alex Pagulayan. In 2 rounds of Masters action, the man from Greece has grown in confidence. The All-England clash between Boys and Melling ensured that at least one Englishman would make it through to the last 4. But the pressure on both looked immense, and a series of mistakes littered the opening few racks before the match settled and Melling was able to cross the finish line. And last time out, Shane Van Boening raced into a 6-rack lead against Mark Gray, just 2 away from the finish line, but once again, the American allowed his opponent back into the match. Gray took 4 racks before Van Boening hauled himself across the line and into the semifinals. The opening semifinal will see Scavverski against Economopoulos. The man from Poland came through a tough quarterfinal against Daniel Corriere. He's now focused on the semifinal.
I must be focused at the very beginning of the match, just concentrate on potting the balls, forget about venue, about money, about achievement cups. The most important things are balls on the table. I remember I lost to him once and twice I won to him, so I have an advantage, but that is pool. Every match is different and anything can happen in the match.
Nikos Ekonomopoulos surprised many by beating Homan in round 1 before defeating former champion Pagulayan in the quarters. But he's up against a familiar opponent now.
I know him very well because we play many times Eurotour before. Last time I lost from him. He's a very good player, great player of course, and he won before 2 years the Whirlpool Masters. But I will try to continue like this to concentrate and to play my best. I want to concentrate in my game. It's very short distance, race to 8 winner break, so you must be careful with everything. The break is very important, but you must be concentrated in every ball, in every second.
Economopoulos's break in his quarterfinal. I'm delighted to say, joining me in commentary for this one is a defeated quarterfinalist today, Carl Boyes. But he's bounced back to give us some wise words.
Yes, Phil, I'm here for this semi-final match. It's going to be a fantastic match, this one. Really excited to be commentating on this one. And Karol starts off there with a dry break. A little bit unlucky, but not a clear shot for Nikos. So we could have a little bit of a safety battle here with a cluster down the bottom side of the table.
Poland against Greece. 2 pool nations that don't immediately come to mind when you think about the leading countries in the sport. But Scavverski and Economopoulos are 2 ever-improving sorts.
Yeah, that's what... He wasn't really looking for that type of shot. He's left a bit of a window there. I think he was trying to get the cue ball a bit more further across. As you see, the 2 ball, bottom left of the table. It's not easy to get back down for the 2. Been very impressive so far as Karol in this tournament. Obviously a former champion, so he knows what it's like to win this event.
Well, it was a fairy tale when he won it in Kielce, not just in his home country, in his hometown, would you believe, a couple of years ago. Here he's beaten Wang Can from China, 8-5, and Daniel Corriere from Italy, 8-3. Not particularly impressive against Wang, but he was against Corriere.
Now, is he just looking at a little billiard? Or is he going to play a bit of a fancy combo shot? I think he's lining up for the 2 onto the 6, 6 onto the 4. Yeah, he tried a bit of a trick shot there. Oh, and it's not come out good for Nikos, this one. He can consider himself very fortunate there. Wasn't an easy shot, don't get me wrong. But he'll be happy to see that 4 ball land there.
Have you played these two very often, Cole?
Yeah, obviously, you know, the European tour's very strong these days. And Poland, you know, they've got some fantastic players coming from over there now. You know, there's 6 or 7 play European tour regular, all capable of winning European tours. You know, they've had 3 or 4 winners. Obviously, Karol's won this tournament. Played them 2 or 3 times. I know Nikos very well, good friend of mine on the circuit. And he might be chasing the 9 a little bit here. Just get a good hit. Balls are flying round. Sometimes that's all you can do. Never quite sure where it's going to land.
Well, the 2 has come past the 6, so it will pot.
Yeah, sometimes in that instance it's just all about trying to make sure you hit the ball and trying to get it flying into other balls, and you know, you have a chance of fluking a ball or maybe making the 9. Yeah, he had a bit of traffic to avoid there. Didn't play that one too good. Has he got a gap through the 5 and the 7? I think he has, Phil. I think he can get through that window.
And that's 2 or 3 slices of luck he's had already. And it makes a big difference early on. Can plant a seed of doubt in the opponent's mind.
Yeah, that's right, Phil. It's still a tricky little pot, though. Got to cue this one. As you see, he's hit it wide. Early nerves from Karol, it looks like. Obviously a lot of pressure on him out there because, you know, to win this event once is fantastic, but he's looking to win it 2 times, which is a great achievement.
And what Economopoulos has done in this tournament is already a great achievement, because he's beaten 2 former world 9-ball champions in Torsten Homan and then Alex Bagulayan. 8-4 and 8-3 respectively. Yeah,
that quarter-final match was an unbelievable match. Every time somebody seemed to play a shot, the cue ball seemed to go in one of the pockets. So he'll have been happy to get that win with that big scoreline.
One massive positive for him from that match, the way he was breaking.
Yeah, he has got a very good break, Nikos. Very strong guy. You know, he likes to give the break good, you know, a lot of power. Likes to put a good stroke on the cue ball and all. A lot of people, you know, tap around the table, but you know, he has quite a long bridge hand and he likes to get through the cue ball. Very confident guy as well.
I know you've played in Greece, Carl. You told me that when we were at the World Cup recently. Is pool popular there?
Yeah, to be honest, I'd never been to Greece playing pool up until this year. And I've been twice for 2 different tournaments. The last time I went, I played a big money game there, right next to Panathinaikos' football stadium. So that was quite an experience. And I tell you, they've got some fantastic players in Greece. Players you've never even seen before that, you know, they don't leave the country, but I were very shocked, to be honest, Phil.
Well, Greece is the word here. Nikos Ekonomopoulos draws first blood in this race to 8.
Welcome back to the semi-final between Nikos Ekonomopoulos and Karol Skowerski. The man from Greece has taken the opening rack, and in the second, his good form continued. The break failed to produce any clear path. Safety play followed. Scavverski emerged a likely winner, but a miss on the 6 allowed Ekonomopoulos back in to clear and extend his lead. In the third, a break and run for Ekonomopoulos was impressive. When combined with a similar result in the fourth, his advantage looks striking in this race to 8.
This is for another one ball on the side. And there you see it, heart of the pocket. He's got this break down to a T.
It just never fails.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I've never seen anyone break this good.
There's the old saying, isn't there? There's only 2 certainties in life: death and taxes. Well, I think the third one is Ekonomopoulos spotting the one ball into the side.
Yeah, and a good chance here. He's just got to negotiate position to the 3 ball. And 3 to the 4 is going to be a big shot, because you want to make sure you get on the right side of the 4 ball. Yeah, I mean, he put his extension on the cue. That took a bit of a wobble there. Pace helped that one fall in. Any harder, it probably stayed up, that one. Just see him looking up top of the table now, because he doesn't want to land low on the 4, because the 6 is in the way to get back round for the 5 ball, which is down table. So it's important he comes up. He needs to be straight or low on this.
Time extension.
Doesn't look too bad. I think that's, yeah, that's not too bad, that, Phil.
One more good positional shot here, and 5-0 really is on the front burner.
Yeah, especially the way he breaks, Phil. You know, you sat there in your chair knowing that every time Nikos breaks, you know, you just expect that one ball to disappear. There you see him coming right down on the white ball there. Anything but straight here. Straight could cause problems. He's got a little bit of angle there. I think he can just force it up. Yeah, he's going to spin this out in between the 9 and the 7. Nice shot there.
Wasn't it? Thing of beauty, that. Running side, perfect. And although Scavverski is relatively experienced, he'll be fearing the worst. We've talked about the break and how effective that is, but every aspect of his game working really nicely at the moment.
Now a basic 9 ball for a 5-0 lead on the former World Pool Masters champion.
Winning a semi-final in this tournament is never easy, but Ekonomopoulos is making it look so.
There you see it again. It's just tremendous breaking, this is.
It's your round. You'd never take those odds.
I've always wanted to buy you a pint, Phil. And there you see it, a clear shot on the 2. I mean, he could run the match out here, Phil.
And the 2 players involved in our second semi-final will be watching this with great interest and some trepidation.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if, you know, they're going to change up their break slightly because, you know, throughout the whole tournament, no one's really figured the break out. But as we're seeing here, Nikos he's really found the sweet spot here.
For a good portion of his match against Mark Gray, Van Boning broke well also, but not as well as Economopoulos. Now there, a mistake.
Yeah, it's just the side, just not bet on the cushion there. He obviously wanted to miss the 9. So he's run out of position a little bit, as you see now. Side just doesn't bite, just flicks the 9. But I think he's got an easy snooker here, right behind the 9. Yeah, he's just checking to make sure he's not left an edge, and that's not too bad. But obviously, whenever you let your opponent get out of the chair, he's obviously going to be kicking at this one. And, you know, you never quite know where they're going to finish. But still, you know, Nikos, you sat in your chair. You're 5-0 up with a chance to get to your first World Pool Masters final. You know, he's happy sat there, Phil. Let me tell you. No rail. Yeah, a bit soft for my liking. He was obviously trying to clip it thin. Yeah, the crowd didn't spot that one. Don't forget, you got to hit a cushion after contact unless you make the ball. Nikos must be thinking he's dreaming at the minute, the way this match has gone.
I think he would have been confident of acquitting himself well, looking forward to claiming a victory, but you're quite right. To be on the verge of 6-0, beyond his wildest expectations.
Just taking his extension. Obviously, he's a bit worried about when he spins this round. I think the 8 ball is close to coming into play, so he's just, you know, he's just double checking. He's putting enough spin on it to avoid the 8 ball. Yeah, he sort of arced it to get the angle. I think natural angle we're going into the 8 ball there, Phil. So he's sort of like played a delayed topspin to create a different angle so it goes inside the 8. Nice shot.
It was, and even when he's taking his extension on the time clock, he's doing it at the right juncture. He's identifying the important shots and giving himself the extra time to play them.
Yeah, I mean, to all the amateurs out there, they probably just thought that was an easy shot. They don't realise that natural angle, if you like, was going to hit the 8. So he's had to play it with topspin and sort of force it to create a different angle.
The landslide continues. Who could have forecast this scoreline? A former World Masters champion finds himself blanked at the moment. Scavverski trails 6-0.
Welcome back to Nottingham for the World Pool Masters. Our opening semi-final, Economopoulos against Scavverski. The man from Greece just 2 racks away from a place in the final.
I'm in shock, Phil. He's missed it.
And it's dry.
Yeah, this is Karol's first sort of shot, the 1 ball in a long time. Not left anything easy.
Well, victory from here is possible for Scavverski mathematically, and given his abilities, can't quite write him off, but he would have to win 8 of the next 9 racks to do so. Unlikely.
Yeah, he didn't have anything easy there. He was just trying to play a snooker in between the 5 and the 6 ball there and leave the 1 ball on the side. But it always seems to be the case. You're 6-0 down, your opponent has a dry break, and you don't really have an easy pot. He'll be going through the motions right now, sat in his chair. But it's important for Nikos to just keep the pressure on. You can just see the edge of this. Obviously he's not got, you know, anything easy on, but I've noticed a lot of players in the safety play this week just struggle with the pace. Everything just be creeping out, Phil. It's very quick, the table.
Yes, even someone with the touch of an Alex Pagulayan this afternoon played a really bad safety. With 5, 6 and 8 to hide behind, you would think Scavverski would be in a snooker here, but he isn't.
Yeah, it just crept out, you could see there. But, you know, there's nothing easy here. Obviously, there's no real pot. You can't play a cross bank because the 7's in the way. Maybe he could just squeeze past the 7. It's difficult to see on our monitor. And there you see it, he has. It wasn't easy to see. It's just gone past the 7. It was a nice shot. But he's faced with another horrid shot here. And you see it just missed the 7, Phil.
Now, from that view, we know for certain that the 2 doesn't pass to its natural pocket.
I think he's having a go at this one in the top right pocket past the 8. He sort of walked round and had a look. Yep. Yeah, I don't blame him for having going at that one, Phil. You're trying to make something happen at this stage. You know, you can't just keep ducking, and, you know, you got to try and attack.
Well, second prize at least. The 2 ball is covered by the 8 in terms of being able to pot it at least.
Yeah, you can see in his face there, he's thinking, what have I got to do here to get on the board? He might be trying a little cross bank himself here. Opposite corner pocket. Cue ball needs to get out of the way, yep. That was his only danger. He'll have half felt that the double kiss was on. He probably tried to put a bit of side on it to just miss the double kiss. It looked like a bit of a car crash effort, that, but it wasn't. Still, he's not left it easy, has he? Not when you're 6-0 down, Phil. That's a nice shot though. That was a nice shot there from Karol.
Just the beginnings of a smile on the face of the Polish supporters.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him run out this. You know, you never want to see anyone get beat with a donut next to the name. No, he's just caught the 7. He was trying to come round the back. I mean, everything seems very, very hard at the minute for Karol. And this is not an easy shot now. You know, Phil, there's a lot of players out there who are very good front runners, but, you know, it's amazing how many people they can't seem to find to play the same game when they're losing, you know. And the other players, there's other players out there who, you know, they can still perform to the best ability no matter what scoreline it is.
It's definitely a mindset, especially when it happens on a regular basis. In snooker, of course, one of the great comeback merchants of recent years, Peter Ebdon, seemed to have that stubbornness. When he went behind, it made him even more determined.
Yeah, you're right. Mark Selby's another one. Darren Appleton in the world of 9 balls, another one. You always feel like you've got to beat him. It's never over till it's over. He'll just keep fighting. Alex Pagulayan's another one. You know, you have to beat them guys. Some guys just seem to, you know, have a little blow up and, you know, you've won. But he's took a nice little finish out here, was Karol. He lost the cue ball a bit there though, a bit stabby there. You could see the 7 didn't go in the centre of the pocket, that's why he's lost position. Should still be alright though, but you know, it's still unsettling when you can't get the cue ball where you want it. And that was a brave shot, he just rolled that one along the table. Trusting in the equipment there. And this 9 ball for his first rack of the semi-final.
And who can begrudge him that? It's the first step on a lengthy journey, but at least he's on the board. Nikos Ekonomopoulos 6, Karol Skowerski 1.
Now we get to have a look at Karol's break and see how he's getting on with the break. Oh, he's made the 1 ball. Oh, and he's got a nice little layout here. I mean, if he can clear the table now and just get to, you're just trying to get to 6-3 here. If you can just get to 6-3, that gives your opponent a little something to think about, and you feel like you're still in the match. Obviously, he's got a big mountain to climb here. You know, he's just going to make sure he clears the table. You know, in this rack first.
But the way it works is that when you've got a big lead, you're under extra pressure. Obviously, there's the inherent pressure of trying to reach the final of the World Masters. But for Economopoulos, there's the thought in the mind, if Scavverski can get a little closer, oh, if I were to lose this, I'd never forgive myself.
Yeah, you're right there, pal.
That's Daniel Corriere, who Scavverski beat in the quarterfinals.
You know, before he played that shot, I was just going to say he's not quite got where he wanted. On this super slick equipment, he couldn't really spin it round off 2 because he was going a bit too high. So that's why he's opted to play the 1 railing. He's just come a bit short. So he's left him a very thin cut down the cushion here.
And the last time he had one of these, it was way off.
Yeah, he's played that well though. Lost the cue ball a little bit though. This is what happens, Phil, when when you're chasing, you're never quite in position. You seem to lose the cue ball, and now he's faced with a horrible shot. He's going to be raising the cue up here, I think, and maybe jacking down, trying to stun it in. Yeah, just off the cushion slightly. Oh, and there you see he's missed that one by a long way.
And in the recent history of pool, we know what jacking up can do. You know that, Carl. You were the beneficiary when Neil Svian jacked up, missed the 8 ball in the deciding rack of the World Cup of Pool, and you and Darren Appleton provided the win for England.
Yeah, that's right. Anytime you're jacking up or you're bridging over a ball, you can't quite see, the pocket, so you don't really feel like you know where you're aiming, and it's not an easy shot. And you could see there, it was all happened off the first shot there from Karol. Nikos diced with that middle pocket a bit too close. His heart had been in his mouth there, but this is a big chance to get on the hill now, and this could be the end for Karol, I'm afraid, after that mistake. Just the way Nikos is breaking, you always fancy him to make the 1 ball, and at some point he's going to get another chance, you'd feel, from 7-1.
He had the chance, he took it. 7-1. And if that break continues to be accurate, I'm afraid Karol Skowerski is on very, very shaky ground now.
Welcome back to the Whirlpool Masters and a semi-final between Economopoulos and Scavverski. The man from Greece is just a rack away from the final.
There you have it. There you have it. The one ball in the side. I think the four ball's going to just come and spoil things a little bit. Yeah, you can see from his expression, he's come round the table and just landed in front.
That was tantalising, wasn't it?
Yeah, he'll, that's awful when that happens. Oh, there you see it, and the two went, Phil. If the four doesn't land there, he's in the final, you know. And now he's just going to have to sweat this one out a bit longer. He'll be desperate to get to this final. Like I said before, you know, he's establishing himself as one of Europe's top players. He's represented Europe 2 times in the Mosconi Cup. Last year's US Open 9-ball championships, 3rd place. 2nd place, European Tour. So he's no stranger to the deep end of tournaments, but he's still yet to win a big major. But the way he plays, you just feel like that's going to come soon.
I think his biggest win as an individual was Austrian Open 2012, but the stature of that tournament, nothing compared with this.
No, for sure. And to be honest, Phil, you know, obviously the European Tour is very difficult, but we all expect to win one of those at some point in our career. But, you know, if you want to be considered one of the top players, you have to win, you know, a matchroom sport event, in my opinion, or a... Wow, he's played a billiard on the 9 and he's made it to stay in the match. Bit of a strange push out there for Nikos.
Yes, there we were, talking about different stuff, and down he gets 2-9 billiard. In it goes, so the match is kept alive and in spectacular fashion. So, rack 10, about to get underway. Scavverski, 5 down, possible 6 to play.
Yeah, I mean, this match, even though it's 7-2 to Nikos, it's been a breaking masterclass. And a chance. And as I was saying before, if Karol had got out before, and he's broken, he's on the ball here, we could have been looking at 6-4, 6-5 here, Phil. If he hadn't made that mistake before.
Yes, he missed the 6, didn't he? Jacking the cue up.
Yeah, that's right, Phil. So that would have been 6-3, and this rack could have been for 6-4, and it would have been game on then. But he's still in the match. Nice shot there, well judged. Little shake of his head tells me he's landed straight. But I think the 4 passes the 9 anyway, so it's not too bad.
It's not an enviable position to be in when you know that your next mistake will probably be your last. But really, here, there should be no mistake.
Yeah, he's just opted to follow through there and play the 4 in the side. I've got a little question for you, Phil. Who's your favourite pool player to watch?
That is a good one, actually.
I mean, you don't have to say me, of course, apart from me.
I wasn't going to say you. Efren's always good value, isn't he? Just because of the way he looks, the history behind him, you know, the fact he's such a jolly fellow on the surface, but underneath he's the quiet assassin.
Yeah, it's a good call, that one, Phil. One of my favourite players to watch. The imagination that, you know, he shows, and 60 or just over 60 years of age, and still on the circuit touring the world, and you know he still plays some fantastic pool.
Also, because I knew them from snooker, always had an eye on what Steve Davis and Tony Drago are doing.
Yeah, Tony's regular at the big pool tournaments nowadays. Exciting guy to watch as well. This 9-ball for 7-3. Just to keep Nikos thinking.
There's life in the old dog yet. Is the revival going to be maintained?
Yeah, he's made the wing ball again. And the 1-ball's come round. And can he see it? Can he get past that 4? Doesn't look like he can, no.
You were just talking there, Carl, about the merits of the new break rule for this tournament, and I wholeheartedly agree. You know, they say variety is the spice of life, and what this does is produce a whole variety of racks.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a look at other sports like tennis and golf and darts, both players get their fair, you know, amount of chances, and you see a great battle then. And I think sometimes over the years in pool, it can be very one-sided, and you know, it's not very nice as a player and as a fan if you come to watch somebody and they don't really get their fair opportunity. But I think this year's World Pool Masters, you know, the break shot's been fantastic. So he's just elected to play a push out up top of the table. Nothing else he could really do. Nikos is going to try and duck around the bottom near the 2 and the 9 ball. Just leave distance. He might even fire at a bank. No, he's played safe. He might knock the 3 in here though. No, it's alright. It's a good shot. Good cue ball there. Very, very nice safety shot from Nikos.
On the threshold, he has been for a while. Remember, he was 7-1 up. Scavverski winning the 2 most recent racks.
Yeah, he's just making him sweat this victory out a bit longer. Trying to go behind it. Oh, that is a tremendous shot, let me tell you. That is exactly what he's played. You can never guarantee where the 1 ball's going to finish, but the way he's kicked that 2 rails for it to stop dead is brilliant. Look at that stop. Beautiful shot. That is exactly how he's played it.
We were just talking about Efren Reyes a few moments ago. That's the kind of shot that he would be proud of.
Yeah, Efren plays that shot so many times, so consistent. Nikos just trying to just get a hit on this one, but it looks a bit off the back cushion. Yeah, it was a good hit. And it's not a bad result.
He will settle for that from that position all day and every day.
Yeah, I think he actually played that shot with a bit of swerve as well, if we get another look at it.
Turning the rest there on its vertical side. Good job.
Yeah, another good safety shot. A few good safety shots in this rack from both players. And now Nikos is faced with a kick shot of his own. And there you see it, full ball snooker. Yeah, he's played that one nice. I mean, even if he leaves it on, well, not on for a pot, but even if he can see it, you know, he's hit that one ball exactly where he wanted to hit it, to knock it over this side. And obviously he had the 9 and the 6 ball as a blocker, but on this occasion he's left a gap. But it was a good shot. Another good shot there. This is fantastic stuff from both guys. We're seeing a kicking and safety exhibition here, Phil.
No quarter given, as you would fully expect.
Double kissed it there. That's why the one ball stayed up there. He's not left an easy shot.
And it appears to be partially hampered queuing as well. Maybe he can just about squeeze through and play the shot in an orthodox manner.
Yeah, just had a little look, see if he had his extension left. So he's got to be quick at playing this one. There's only 7 seconds left. Yeah, just electing to try and use a 5 ball. I think we're going to see Nikos go for game now, Phil. This is a good chance for a bank. And he's got a natural angle to go down for the 2. And I think the 2 passes the 3 ball, sorry, so that's even better. This is a good chance in this now. At this level, you expect to make these shots. And there you see it. He's lost the cue ball though. Needs a bit of help. Oh, and that's delightful. He'll have been happy to see that one at the 9 ball. Let's have another look here. Just misses the 6 and a full ball contact on the 9. And this is a great opportunity to book his place in the final. And he fires that one up. No messing about there. It's almost like he's angry out there, Phil.
Getting over the line, that's what it's all about. Just needs to trust himself, play normally. Don't do anything different just because you're on the cusp of a wonderful win. And we're now 4 successful pots away from knowing for sure we're going to have a new name on the Party Poker Whirlpool Masters Trophy.
Yeah, that's right, Phil. A new champion. Just going to make sure you land on the 6 ball now. One good shot. This looks pretty good. Let's get past that 7. Very nice indeed. Nice pace there. That is perfect, Phil.
Well, you can't fault Karol Skowerski's attitude and application. He's given everything, but it's been insufficient. Nikos Ekonomopoulos, breaking really well, has recorded an 8-3 victory. His passport to the final stamped.
A perfect feeling. I feel very, very proud of myself. It's a wonderful tournament, and I'm very excited that I play in the final.
Nikos Ekonomopoulus continues his remarkable run in this tournament. He is into the final. His opponent will come from our last remaining semifinal featuring U.S. Open champion Shane Van Boening and the last Englishman standing, Chris Melling. Both men playing for the right to take on Ekonomopoulos in the final of the Party Poker World Pool Masters.